Bloop! Splash! Did you hear that? Benny's sink just burped. And out came bubbles. Not just any bubbles. These ones giggled. Hee, snorted one. Hey, Benny, tickle your nose. Another bubble zipped past his ear like a tiny jet. Benny blinked his big green eyes. Did my sink just laugh at me? He leaned closer. The bubbles shimmered with colors, pink, blue, gold, and silver. But then, their sparkle faded. The giggles stopped. One bubble whispered sadly, "Oh no, the giggly glow is gone!" Benny gasped. The giggly glow? What's that? The magic that keeps us laughing, said the bubble. Without it, we'll turn into plain soap. Benny couldn't let that happen. He looked at his stuffed rabbit, Flopsy, brown floppy ears, red bow, and a brave little stare. Let's help them, Flopsy! And just like that, the sink sparkled with a swirl of rainbow foam. Whoosh! Benny and Flopsy were sucked right in. Down they tumbled through a tunnel of bubbles, spinning and giggling until, poof! They landed on a field of soft foam hills. Welcome to the Bubbly Kingdom! Everywhere Benny looked, bubble towers glowed under a rainbow sky. Tiny bubble people floated by, carrying sparkly brushes and giggling soap buckets. Wow, Benny whispered. It's beautiful! A large, shimmery pink bubble drifted down from the sky. She wore a crown of golden light and sparkled as she spoke. I am the Bubble Queen, she said gently. Our giggly glow has been stolen by the grumpy dust. Benny's eyes widened. Who's that? The one who hates laughter, the Queen sighed. Without the glow, all joy will fade. Benny nodded. Don't worry, your bubbleness. We'll get it back. The Queen's surface rippled like a smile. Be careful, young one. The grumpy dust lives deep inside the dusty cave, so off they went. Benny and Flopsy marched over Fizzy Hills, where every step went boing, pop, fizz. They slid down soapy waterfalls, splashing through streams of rainbow foam. They even rode a giant bubble across the glittering valley, shouting, Faster, faster, Flopsy! The bubbles around them cheered. Go, Benny! Go, Flopsy! Finally, they reached the dusty cave. The air was thick and gray. Everything smelled boring. Ew, Benny said, wrinkling his nose. A deep rumble echoed. Out of the shadows came the grumpy dust, a gloomy gray cloud with giant eyebrows and a permanent frown. Who dares disturb my nap? He grumbled. Benny stepped forward. I'm Benny, and we want the giggly glow back. The grumpy dust growled. Laughter is annoying. Giggles are irritating. I prefer silence. Flopsy whispered, What now, Benny? Benny thought for a moment. Then he puffed his cheeks, crossed his eyes, stuck out his tongue, and went blurp. Flopsy wiggled his ears and twirled around like a dancer on jelly. The grumpy dust tried to hold it in. He huffed, he puffed, but then snort. Pop puffed, ha ha ha. He laughed so hard, bits of sparkle burst out of him. The laughter turned him lighter, brighter, happier. And with one big sneeze, achoo! The giggly glow shot out like a golden comet. The giggly glow zoomed through the air, spreading light everywhere it touched. Fizzy Hills fizzed again. The waterfalls shimmered. The bubbles giggled louder than ever before. The Bubble Queen appeared, floating gracefully before Benny. You have returned joy to our kingdom, she said kindly. She placed a glowing soap bubble medal on Benny's sweater. Thank you, young hero. In a swirl of sparkle and foam, Benny found himself back in his bathroom. Everything was quiet again, except for one tiny hiccupy giggle from the sink. Did you hear that, Flopsy? He whispered. Flopsy's stitched smile seemed to wink back. Benny smiled and yawned. As he climbed into bed, he could still hear the gentle pop-pop giggle echoing in his dreams. And that night, the last thing he whispered was, Good night, Giggle Bubbles. Soft pop, fade out.